Hi and welcome to another game of LaneSmash Season 5, Weekend 2. Today we have WFAT versus YLBT, TR versus NC. I'm Dosso, and I'm here with Pack Tactic.
Hello guys, how are we all doing?
So basically today we are on the very popular lane, the Zots to Milek Tech Plant lane, eastern side of it, Hossin. Game should be starting within the next 5 minutes. Obviously we have a 3-minute delay, so we're not going to quite show you the composition just yet. So we don't want to give the game away. So basically we're just going to go through the bases. So on this lane, there is no neutral base. So essentially, it is the Ziggurat and Nelmai Gardens. For those who've been watching the season so far, have probably seen quite a lot of this lane, whether it be the tournament or the several practice games we had prior. So, Pac, what's your prediction?
So this is going to be WFAT's technically first game for the season, isn't it? Because they unfortunately missed out in the first round, though they did pick up the win with the other team giving up the forfeit. But we have had the
2 minutes to match that.
satisfaction
2 minutes
of having a peek on YLBT's first round, and I believe that we were both keeping an eye on that match locally, weren't we?
So I think we're 2 minutes from start, if I hit that all call correct.
Clear out of that area.
So if you want to have a look at NC, I'll go see what TR are up to and see what they've got ready for the beginning. So
Yeah, sounds good. Let's go head over.
So TR seems to have Mosquitoes on a Galaxy waiting. Not seeing any sort of sign of any sort of vehicle. They do have a few Prowlers. Not many, but at least one. Perhaps they're going mainly for a Galaxy drop.
I'm seeing not too many, a bit of scattered EFSFs over on this side for NC. I am not actually seeing... Oh, here we go. There's a little bit of vehicle presence. Not as much as I'd like to see. Only 2 Vanguards on my side.
WFAT cautiously hovering near trees, which is
1 minute to match start. 1 minute.
1 minute to match start. I'm hoping that the WFAT Mosquitoes don't make a repeat of last time where they either crashed into trees on start. Try and zoom over to the NC just to get eyes onto the viewers what they have.
30 seconds.
30 seconds to start. NC using quite a few Vanguards, but again, Reavers. So this seems to be the staple of any sort of like lane smash or service match. It's always going to be that big air battle at the start.
We didn't see too much of an air battle last time with
8, 7, 6,
YLBT
5,
though,
4,
so it'll be interesting
3,
to see what they do this
2,
time.
1. Match start. Match start.
And we are off.
We are indeed. Let's see who gets the first drop.
WFAT charging in there. Reavers bypassing the Mosquitoes.
Yeah, they're going to go for the drop. WFAT already getting on point and starting to flip the point here at the Ziggurat.
TR Galaxy comes in at low altitude to deliver the drop. Rams a Reaver.
And it looks like Ziggurat has the timer ticking down. WFAT already here on point. So it looks like we're going to have the battle over here for a little bit. Let's see if they can be knocked off.
The Galaxy ramming another Reaver makes a difference from the last game where they're ramming trees mostly.
Here we go. They've got a good amount of maxes on point. Looks like WFAT have a good composition as well. Engineers seem to be taking their partners with the maxes. They've got a good amount of force here. Looks like only about a squad though, so it looks like they have a second squad that's possibly now moving up. The Galaxy that's on top is being taken out. Good amount of spawn beacons, so both squads at least getting their spawn options here as well.
So we've seen in previous games where WFAT's Galaxy pilots haven't been that great, and it seems that they've actually swapped their Galaxy pilot and swapped the Galaxy pilot for a Liberator. Because I've just seen a Liberator crash at a spawn room. We start to slowly see NC Vanguards coming in, trying to potentially deal with any Sunder replacements, but it seems that WFAT are mostly using beacons.
I'm watching some of NC's guys kind of trickle in over to the point now here at the Ziggurat. Currently coming from the north side. I don't see... Oh, there's a couple of people coming from the south side as well, so... But I think they're going to be picked off. They need to start grouping up.
YLBT slowly making their way up the stairs.
Here we go. If we have a bird's eye view right now, we see the YLBT are starting to group up a lot on the northern side now and actually starting to push in as a group. As we head into the point room.
WFAT using their quite common tactic of max pairs, heavy use of maxes.
Oh yeah, beautiful use though. They made sure that the composition for the maxes here. I still feel like we're missing people from WFAT though.
They do have a few prowlers on the outskirts holding the road. And they do have a few mosquitoes in the air as well. But if one thing's for sure, I believe both teams have had plenty of practice on this lane. I know WFAT definitely has. If you TR get picked off outside, YLBT just trying to poke to see where the weakness is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit of a wander around the base just to see how their setup is so far as well.
Are you not better than this rabble?
Yeah, I'm seeing the Muzzies currently tackle some of their the anti-air that's currently at the spawns as well. So it looks like they're really good at keeping air control currently. WFAT. Not seeing much of an air force from YLBT.
30 seconds on the cap. Can WFAT hold this, and can YLBT manage to push a catch point in the last 20 seconds now? And they're in. They're pushing in.
Again.
Running to a wall of maxes. The zombies going out. Res grenade going.
Ooh.
Not many TR revive. In the last 10 seconds, can YLBT save this? There's only one max remaining, 2 maxes remaining. The max is fighting for his life, and suddenly they go down.
Oh, that was an impressive recapture.
We've seen a lot of that this season, like last 10 seconds, 20 seconds captures. WFAT straight back in there on beacons, applying that pressure, because that's all they have to do. They have plenty of time to get back in there, but...
That is a very costly for the whole 4 minutes now, having to get this resecure and keep the defense up now.
TR Mosquito just staring at the NC, not really doing much.
WFAT do have their beacons up, so both beacons up again. Looks like they're mostly gathering around the south side there and gathering on top of the point now, so it is going to be a bit difficult for YLBT to actually keep up the defense here without, if they're not taking out the beacons. One of the beacons do go down.
There's no clear front line at the moment. It's just literally every man for themselves. YLBT getting stuck, getting contained in this little building here.
Oh, here comes the point capture again.
Is with you. Do not falter.
Minute 16 left now to get that defense going once again.
Very, very quick response by TR there. Now they only have to wait a minute, but YLBT again going straight back in there.
Oh yeah.
But I do notice that YLBT are just throwing themselves in there one by one, just trying to prevent WFAT from consolidating. But at the same time, not having enough guys to push in there like they did before.
One of the very interesting tactics that WFAT have as well is I noticed that they have their drivers abandon their prowlers safely in the garages, maybe to go back to the prowlers afterwards. But that's actually a nice little... I'm guessing they've joined in the infantry fray right now in a very safe manner.
"15 seconds on the cap." NC, it's like NC did try to make a big push here. 4 seconds. Does WFAT have the back cap?
It doesn't look like it currently. I'm not seeing any WFAT here at Zots Agricultural currently. So there is a bit more of a chance for them to do a resecure. But there is a Mozzie over here, and it looks like we possibly have some NC already scattering in to keep up the defense here. Yeah, it is going to be hard for 1 or 2 people to get the forward cap from WFAT currently. Currently, it is a ghost town, but
NC pulling quite a lot of vehicles here.
yeah.
But surely the Mosquito hovering overboard has reported that to his team. Because that is quite a big, heavy nanite investment. And surely TR know if they allow NC to leave the base, there's going to be less people on the point.
Oh, Mozzie is landing. Has got the... We have a TR that has gotten out. So he might be trying to go get the forward cap now, but he's probably going to get shot up by YLBT. Because there's still only one NC here on point.
And the beacon... Will we see a beacon? By his 2 TR. Oh, beacon goes up. Already spotted by NC. NC on the roof. Defends the beacon. WFAT really quick on the squad beacon there. NC caught out in the open.
While you keep it here on Zots, I'm just going to go back quickly to see what's happening. Yeah, looks like WFAT still have a good full squad here back at Ziggurat as well. They're making sure that no one gets this cap from NC. So they're keeping a good presence until they got that forward cap. That's a really smart move.
WFAT getting contested on the roof.
Ooh. It does look like they're trying to push the Sunderer up. YLBT have a Sunderer set here, but a Prowler has already spotted it. Light Assault's already coming in.
Enemy light assault in the area. Trooper spotted.
And here's the armor presence that we saw earlier from YLBT here at Ziggurat. Unfortunately, it looks like the squad from WFAT here at Ziggurat are meeting head-on with the Sunderer now, going out to take it out. And the Sunderer goes down, unfortunately, for NC. How are we looking there at Zots?
Still TR on the roof, but we have an NC at Ziggurat running for point, trying to get the cap. Max is chasing him. Oh, and he just dies on the precipice. TR Galaxy coming in to pick up the Maxes. Will we see a repeat of last week's drama where the Galaxy full of Maxes crashed?
So it looks like TR did have Zox Agricultural for a small time there, but NC have already taken the point back. Point is currently uncontested.
We do have TI Galaxies en route with Maxes ready for
You are
the next
in a
base.
restricted area.
And they've got a squad going up on the roof again, so it looks like... Oh, no. Actually, they don't have the full squad here. Only a couple of people. More need to come in.
TI dropping on the roof. Lands on the doorway, not the roof. Straight onto point. Max is making a quick work of the defenders. Take the cap.
Points flipping. Reaver's unfortunately coming in a little bit too late. Point has flipped. Timer is now ticking. Now let's have a look at the bird's eye view from ahead so we see keeping a good defense of the doorways there.
Enemy max.
Currently not seeing any beacons ahead, overhead.
Enemy light assault. Visual on hostile light assault. Hostile max.
NC Max comes in unsupported. Moton goes down.
Oh. This is where it's very important in these situations to be squatted up with a rep engineer. If you only have one engineer to 2 or 3 maxes, typically we've seen in previous matches that's not going to be a good time.
This is one of those bases where it takes several minutes to cap. So the longer that YLBT wait to take this base, the longer they'll have to wait for it to resecure. Essentially doubling the timer, essentially. We have yet to see any sort of like mass NC push here.
They're starting to gather up now here on the southern doorway. About six people pushing in. Starting to push in from the other side. They're not gathering in mass though. Because they're being mowed down by the maxes as soon as they walk in.
WFAT slowly bringing us asunder in as a force multiplier.
Oh yes.
But I do feel like YLBT could push round the south, going through the big door rather than getting... Because they are going through the same 2 doors over and over again, and they're just asking to get gunned down in the doorway.
Yeah, and even watching a guy, we got just a single YLBT currently go through the big doorway here, and he's gonna get cut down, yeah, instantly. They've also got the air presence, so he's got mowed down by a Mozzie. A wonderful air presence from WFAT so far. And this feels very much just like YLBT's last game, where they didn't have too much control over the air, which is a bit unfortunate because I was expecting them coming into this that would be seeing a lot more air gameplay. It's a bit of a drastic change between some of the previous games that we've cast.
Are you not better than this rabble?
So let's head back into point.
30 seconds on the cap. WFAT doing really well to hold this. NC repeatedly getting wiped just as they come through the doorways.
They haven't changed up tactic at all.
'Cause even if they do manage to breach into the room, they have to do that Sunderer.
And their forces just being trickled down slowly and slowly as well. As they push towards the point, they have air constantly taking out people.
And WFAT are on the cap. Do they have anybody in the biolab ready for that cap?
We're not seeing any of the points flipping currently in the biolab.
WFAT straight onto A point in the biolab.
There we go.
NC really quick to respond to this.
Enemy heavy nearby. Eyes open. Enemy heavy. Stay alert. Enemy heavy nearby.
TR Max is coming in for the big push.
In a restricted area.
Several Maxes splitting up, going toward Banana Building.
Tiara keeping quite well in groups as they split up between the 2 points. We see about a squad currently on the A point as well. We've got a couple of group that's heading over to B, especially with Maxes as well. So they're going to try and do a quite decent job to actually keep themselves together.
NC just running into rooms, not really checking the corners.
Yep, I've seen that. We see YLBT, we're trying to get the C4 out to try and take care of the Maxes here on B point. Unfortunately, not working out well for him.
Infiltrators trying to take down Maxes.
Ooh. It's not working out well for them so far.
Another WFAT Max goes down.
Their composition has been wonderful so far. C4 going out. YLBT pushing into B point. B point starting to flip. Looks like there's only 2 Maxes left. Here goes the res grenades for YLBT. And one Max remaining and goes down. YLBT getting the flip again for B point. A lone WFAT guy escaping, but chooses to try to get back into the point room. Fortunately, doesn't work.
NC pushing A point now.
Hostile Max in the area.
Enemy light assault.
Enemy engineer in the area.
Failure is not the path of enlightenment.
And we have C point flipping as well. Let's head over there.
WFAT breaking down into squads again. Another squad going Banana Building, another squad going A point.
Not much happening in C point. It is a ghost town. All 4 points are flipped. Let's see. I'll go check to see if they have the cap back at Zot's Agricultural. WFAT keeping. It looks like ghost town here as well. So there's no. They won't be able to get the timer ticking here, but we do have WFAT having some people head over to the point just to make sure.
WFAT have the capture point inside the biolab.
I take that back.
20 minutes remaining. 20 minutes.
As we enter the last 20 minutes of this round, WFAT in quite a clear lead.
Shield generated.
But YLBT do have time to secure this base and get a cap.
But they really need to get themselves together, start to get the composition and take control of not only the ground forces here, but they need to start looking at taking control of the air as well as getting their spawns together.
Because all WFAT have to do is just run around this base and keep tagging the points.
Yeah. Get that timer back to 0, get that forward cap going, send 1 or 2 guys and try and get the spawns managed there.
If WFAT really wanted to, they could turtle at one point and just hold it for the next 20-something minutes. While sending out infiltrating and light assaults to keep capping the other capture points.
You truly allow yourself to lose.
They really do seem to be going for all 3 points though. At least
New
they were starting
has
to.
taken the facility.
They were at least going for A and B before to at least get that timer ticking. So they do look like they're in it for the 3 points this time around.
Watch your six. Infiltrators in the area.
Currently, they have A point quite secured. NC are pushing in from the north here, but have to deal with a pesky maps.
Visual on hostile light assault trooper.
A point flipping back.
WFAT doing really well to keep bringing these matches to the fight. They always seem to have, no matter how many matches go down, they're doing really well to keep bringing those matches back in.
Oh yeah, YLBT, they're getting a couple of guys at least touching the point. It looks like they're trying to at least get rid of those maxes, but especially with the keeping the reses up, the engineers up, oh, it is such a struggle for them.
A few maxes chasing kills here. Out of range of the engineers.
Eyes open. Enemy heavy.
But we just keep seeing NC just throwing themselves against these maxes, just trying to take them down. They're just throwing their lives.
It's like hitting a brick wall at this point. Oh, we're seeing a couple jump in. It looks like they've really armored down this A point now. I don't see any of WFAT at least going towards B or C point, so it looks like they could be going the turtling method now. Or at least they want to get themselves a good, secure run.
NC determined to get these mines and C4 down.
Currently watching an NC stare down a Liberator as he tries to take out some of these beacons that are here. Unfortunately, getting ganked from behind. Oh, here we go. I'm here back at Zots Agricultural, just seeing a 1 versus 1 of an NC trying to at least get the sneaking onto the A point here, but being taken out in the process. So about 16 minutes left as well in the match. WFAT even have themselves a Sunder here back at Zots, just to make sure they've got the spawn points right there on the point.
It does seem that WFAT are turtling on the A point.
Currently having a good bit of a gander outside to see the Mozzie and the Liberator kind of yawning for some action. Unfortunately, they're stuck outside the biolab. They're getting some shots in there, though. Looks like they're having a little bit of a grand time. And here we see B point flipping now. Head over there.
WFAT containing not only the A point but the roof and the flanks.
Oh, there's an infiltrator here. A little bit of health left. It takes down 2 of the YLBT in a 2 versus 1, but unfortunately a third one trickles in and takes them down, only for NC to flip the point back to themselves. Good job for that guy, though.
WFAT light assaults allowing NC light assaults to get onto the balcony and potentially C4 the maxes.
Oh, yep, we're seeing another lighter cell drop down to go in there now.
NC light assaults coming in mass, wiping out the TR light assaults, pushing onto balcony. TR switching to try and deal with it.
Here we go, we're seeing... Oh, unfortunately, they do get wiped out, so the balcony raid didn't work out for them.
They did get a few maxes, but didn't have enough manpower to really exploit it.
Correct.
I find your effort lacking.
It seems that for every WFAT person sent to backcap the B or the C point, NC is sending like 6-7 people to go deal with it.
Here at Zots Agricultural, they have just a single guy here, infiltrator, and Sunder has spotted him back at the point here, but it is currently NC, so they do technically have the cap, but I don't think it's going to stay for long. Point's already flipping back. They have a Sunder here, WFAT. And, oh, the infiltrator tries to sneak up on one guy. Unfortunately mowed down with the second one joining in as well. So there we go. Biolac back up for grabs. Only taken out of the action for just a small amount of time. Back into the biolab we go. Spawn beacons back up onto the air pads for WFAT. We have 2 points flipping. Currently, A is still under their control firmly. B, a little bit contested, but it looks like they've pushed a... they've still got an infiltrator here on point. And it is flipping now. It looks like we've got a medic and an infiltrator, so this might actually work out for them if they can get more people over here.
Does WFAT need these mosquitoes? Surely they could be an extra man to back up B and C.
I was shocked a little bit earlier to see that Liberator and the Mozzie just sticking outside, because even just having an extra 2 men would have prevented NC from at least trying to take this B point back, and that would be useful in itself because they only sent in about 4 or 5 people. So that would have been an even fight rather than 4 versus 2 then.
A new conglomerate has taken the facility.
This A point though, this is what's heavily contested.
Rinse and repeat. TR capture B, they run past B, they cap it and they run, drawing NC away from the A point fight.
And here it goes again. B point flipping once again.
Eyes open. Enemy heavy.
This time, once again, it looks like they've got the medic and... Oh, it looks like they've got a heavy combo this time. So let's see if they can do a little bit more damage than the infiltrator.
Even if YLBT managed to push onto waypoint, they're still going to have to deal with the odd WFAT heavies running around the base, capping the points behind them, and it's just going to be a case of NC chasing TR around this biolab.
Bring around the Rosie. It is interesting to see about YLBT send about 6 or 7 people each time that WFAT invest only about 2 people onto this B point. It really does seem like they're not trying to... It's more of an annoyance just to bring people away from that A point, as you said before.
Again, we see another NC max unsupported go down. We don't really see any sort of like cohesive NC push here.
Heading back to Zelt's Agricultural just to keep an eye on it. We have now 3 Sundays here in the room for WFAT, which is possibly trying to form a summoning circle. I'm not sure.
WFAT pushing B. We have a squad this time. We have maxes.
Ooh. Changing up tactic a little bit.
But as they split their forces, now is the time for NC to group and push A and switch to B. This is NC's time to try and make some headway onto A.
I'm expecting that YLBT only sent it about 6, so I'm guessing the first time that YLBT going to attack this point, they're going to be wiped out, and WFAT will keep the defense on B for this first time. But they'll probably start pushing in more now that the intel's getting out into the channels.
2 minutes on the cap. WFAT on all 3 points.
Oh boy!
WFAT infiltrator coming to contest the C point.
Remaining 10 minutes.
Yeah, C point's currently the weakness. Looks like about a squad each, possibly on just under a squad each on the other 2 points. So now this is a proper balancing game.
It seems that NC are using quite a lot of light assaults just to try and get amongst the TR. YLBT now pushing small stairs. Push right into B, get meted by the TR Max. TR Max goes down, and YLBT managed to re-secure B. Will we see them push through Banana Building and come up behind TR on the A point, or will we see them dissipate and try to, again, throw themselves one by one onto the point?
They are starting to push over now.
With you. Do not falter.
And let's see if they start to push behind.
NC focusing down TR engineers.
B flipping once again.
Visual and hostile light assault trooper.
Only about half a squad this time on B.
Enemy heavy spotted. Got a hostile bunker nearby.
This really is a big balancing game currently.
Rise to the moment you can prevail.
Point flips back. Let's have a look. Let's just see how they're keeping up this defense on A here. So they've got Maxes looking over the upper section here at A point as well, looking towards down the doorways. They've got light barriers in quite a couple of places, especially for the extra defense there.
Are you not better than this rabble?
Oh, unfortunately, we have got ourselves the sound bug.
So yeah, pushing back onto B point here.
Eyes on hostile light assault trooper.
Stay alert. Enemy heavy nearby.
Enemy heavy spotted. Issue on mosquito.
Spotted an enemy.
Visual on hostile light assault trooper.
How goes the A point?
Right now, it's currently still looks like they're trying to push in. They do have a bit more maxes this time around. I do see at least one max being revived and one on half health. I'm not seeing any engineers to support him currently. Looks like they're mostly being spent on light assaults for the NC at least.
TR Mosquito inside the biolab.
They've got the maxes here, but there's no engineers to support him.
The Mosquito inside the biolab goes down. NC Maxes slowly stacking up.
Oh,
Just asking to get C4 by a light assault.
Shield generator critical.
here we go. Push in, but TR maxes are just keeping that doorway guarded. There are a couple of blind spots, especially if they pull in through this 7 gateway that's just on there.
It's quite clever how TR, like infiltrators, literally watching that doorway, just letting their comrades know when they're going to make a push.
Oh, it's wonderful.
NC finally making some sort of headway into the room at A point. Slowly getting shut down.
We do have all points taken currently, but it looks like C's going back to NC. I'm going to have a quick peek back into B point again. Looks like a small little fight here. Looks like NC are pushing currently across the bridge. Medics coming up, being taken out in the process. NC pushing back across the bridge to try and take out any TR that try to come in the process. We're about 5 minutes left in the match now. So this is where we start seeing, in just a minute, it's going to be impossible to take back Zots. Doc's Agricultural, that is. Having a look outside, A point as well on the northern side. We're seeing...
WFAT infiltrate here, soloing the entire YLBT team.
Oh, I've seen some absolutely skillful things come from the WFAT infiltrators. I wonder if it's the same guy.
I think I counted 7 kills there at least.
Oh, that is impressive.
There's essentially not allowing YLBT to get cohesive, get together at that doorway. Infiltrators, light assaults, just slowly picking away at them. And every time NC make that push, they don't have the manpower because they're getting picked off.
4 minutes.
There's that 4 minutes mark. Zots Agricultural now out of the picture to at least get the cap. So it looks like the fight's purely staying in the biolab now. Either way. Now
TR making a big push for B point again.
We just saw a Reaver. Sorry, we just saw a Mozzie come into the biolab here.
Yeah, they had one in earlier. It tried to farm the A point spawn door, but unfortunately went down. But
It shows how much time the WFAT pilots are having, though. Like we were saying before, do you think it'll be better put to better use to have it as ground infantry? I guess it's just that bit of a distraction. I mean, pretty hilarious, I'll tell you what.
WFAT really doing a really good job of holding this A point.
They are. NC have not had any cohesive action to push into this A point currently.
But it doesn't help when they've got infiltrated light assaults, pick them off, and then with the odd WFAT going for B and C, it kind of does divide NC ever so more.
We've been seeing that throughout the whole first round here. We've been seeing WFAT pick off people as they head towards the point. So they're not allowing NC to group up as a big unit to get that big push in. Even back outside at Zox Agriculture, we're seeing the Mozzies and the Liberators pick away at infantry. And shows how important that it is to have air control in those kind of situations to prevent that. We're seeing a lot of the fight outside, at least. C point currently flipping. We have a lone infiltrator here on C point. Let's see if he does any wonderful 360 no-scopes again.
Well, unfortunately, we do not.
Will you truly allow yourself to lose?
I do wonder, though, with all the light assaults that are coming into the picture here from YLBT, that must be using a lot of nanites, because that just even resupplying that C4 and then dying and then coming back again to try and kill those maxes. It's difficult. It's going to be difficult to keep up nanite pull for that.
But I'm surprised we've not seen a mass NC max pull just to dislodge them off the point. NC have the hard spawn. If they wipe with maxes, they can come back in as infantry. Whereas TI don't have that.
To be honest.
As we enter the final minute of this game, there's nothing either team can do. All they need to do now is just conserve those nanites for the next half, and hopefully we see.
Absolutely useless to be using the C4. Right now it's only bragging rights at this point with the biolab. You shouldn't be using C4, you shouldn't be using maxes right now. No, not going to change much, unfortunately. WFAT have had really good survivability on their maxes as well, so I say they definitely got the investment out of it.
For every WFAT max that went down to C4, there was a medic behind them and an engineer ready to repair them. Quite good match play by WFAT.
Wonderful composition.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End of round. End of round.
And as we enter the half time, quite unfortunate for YLBT to be stuck in this scenario where they're in a biolab, it's a 3-point base, and they just.
Players need to leave the continent. All players need to leave the continent.
As we wait for the continent to get reset by the staff. So, what's your predictions for the next round, Pat?
Well, we're going to be swapping sides this time, so I don't think we're going to be seeing the biolab in fight next time around, but I would be keen to see it. I wonder if they're going to learn, and this might be a little bit more of a stalemate between the back and forth, because we have seen that YLBT, when we watched them in the first round, they learned from they learned a little bit, and it became a little bit more of a stalemate rather than having to go the back and forth. So I'm hoping that we see a little bit more of that, and we see that the game evens up a little.
it will be quite interesting to see if YLBT start to use more maxes and just get wise to WFAT's composition, essentially, because I've seen WFAT have a lot of problems before where other teams have used like force multipliers, they've used sunderers, they've used harassers, that kind of thing, and I don't feel like YLBT are using that kind of assets to really help their case. They did really well trying to take down these maxes, but I think they invested too much in light assaults, just trying to 1v1 with C4, and C4 is quite a lot of nanites. I mean, especially if you're going in constantly. But as we reverse the lanes, and hopefully maybe we'll see YLBT do a little bit better on the opposite side.
And I'm hoping that they maybe wise up a little bit. Maybe they don't actually have too much of the air game play for them to kind of take down the air, but at least there's still things that you can do, like even just having sky guards, for example, to at least help focus some of the air to keep that little bit more control on the ground. It's with a one-player investment. There are definitely options that they could be doing, though it is a lot harder on the Hostin side, especially for this lane, as there are many places for the air to hide when they start encountering a bit of pushback. But I agree, the multipliers right now, YLBT seem to be focusing fairly heavy on infantry. While they did manage to get some Sunderers back up and going over to Melmire last time. No, not Melmire, sorry, the Ziggurat. Last time to try and get the capture back. Unfortunately, the armor presence from WFAT was just too heavy as well for them to kind of get that forward cap going again, unfortunately.
So my predictions for the next half is, as same as any sort of LaneSmash, server smash, any sort of event, it's going to be the initial air pull, the initial air bow, but it all comes down to who gets that initial A-point cap in force. And I'm assuming it's going to be the exact same as last game, where we just see both teams beaconing in, king of the hill for that A-point.
Now, we do have a little bit of statistics here as well in terms of WFAT and YLBT. So currently, in terms of kills, YLBT is sitting on 648. WFAT have actually got about double that on 1,424 kills. So currently, the total KDR for WFAT is looking at about 2.14. While YLBT is looking at about 0.45. So that's a stark difference as well, and it's definitely shown in game there on what's been happening. A little fun.
Just quickly showing the team rosters there, just for the viewers. Doesn't give quite a good indication of people's skill, but the roster nonetheless show you how many people are invested in both teams. From what I do recall, I think WFAT might be swapping out a few people this round. I could be mistaken.
I have heard that as well, so it'll be interesting to see.
But I think for the most part, I think their force composition, it's worked so far. It's just a case of, will we see YLBT adapt to overcome it?
I do hope that they've noticed that the issues that they've been having in this first round. I think there are definitely ways that they can counter it, but I do think it is an uphill battle. Technically, YLBT can come around and go for all 3 point, get all 3 captures and get the win here. It is a long shot, but it's definitely possible. But they do need to sort themselves out. But I've definitely been really impressed with how WFAT have been handling themselves. Their composition has been pretty on point. They've been keeping a good balance on their vehicle gameplay as their infantry. I do think it could have been adjusted a little bit better if they wanted to get all 3 points in that first round. But so far, I think they're handling themselves very well, especially with the tactic of turtling down the A point. They've kept themselves on the whole 10 minutes there to keep that point captured. So definitely good effort. Definitely good work.
So I might have missed the all call for the match start. I don't want to quite go see what both teams have in terms of vehicle pull just yet, because obviously we are on a 3-minute delay, and if the game is 5 minutes out still, then I don't want to give too much away to either team.
I don't believe we've had a match start yet, so I'm giving a
The
little
second
bit more
round
time.
starts in 4 minutes. The second round starts in 4 minutes.
There we go.
4 minutes. So in essentially a minute, we'll look at the force competitions. We'll give teams plenty of time to sort their lives out. Not seeing anything at the biolab yet, so maybe not on content just yet.
They
I
should
believe they are.
rejoin now, though.
Yeah, it's just my render distance. The thing is that I have the potential to cast this in Ultra, but in the sake of playing at 60 frames, when I could just lower the graphics quality and show more on screen.
Oh, I was so tempted to stream an Ultra this time around, but I was like, nah, I'm not going to risk it. I want to keep it at a decent frame rate for everyone. But I still love this game. This has always been beautiful to me. Here we go. Let me jump back in game here. This time I'm going to stick around at the ziggurat just in case.
All players need to be in the same outfit. All players need to be in the same outfit.
Looks like a little bit of shenanigans, so maybe the statistics might be a little bit off from what we said earlier, especially if not everyone's in the same outfit, because I do believe that these statistics that we read out are specific to when we're to the outfit.
So what's your prediction then? Who do you think is going to land first? Do you think WFAT are going to land first on Nethermire, or do you think YLBT are going to land first on Ziggurat?
Look, I'm always one to go for the underdog, so I really want to see someone. I want to see YLBT get this first capture, and so we can see the first fight, because that's just in my nature here. Because that's what I'm hoping for. How about yourself?
I'm thinking that WFAT will get the first cap. I don't think they'll manage to keep it. I think, because what I've seen about the YLBT, that they've been very good at redeploying back to base and resecuring things. But as this lane does not have a default base, it can go either way, I guess. I mean, we've seen it in the previous games where it's just going to be an air battle. People are going to get so soaked in to fighting ESF for the sake of fighting ESF, but I think it'll be WFAT who actually managed to get some sort of cohesive force into a capture point. But I've seen previously where teams have brought Valkyries in. We saw it yesterday. Valkyrie got shot down simply because the ESFs focused it, and it just put a whole wrench into the plans. But we know both teams are going to pull ESF. We know that for a fact. And we saw it in the first round where TI Galaxy managed to sneak at low altitude all the way to Ziggurat, and so hopefully we'll see the ESFs focus these Galaxies or Valkyries, because fighting an ESF is fine, but when you're allowing infantry to pass you, then that is a problem. I think people do get soaked up into fighting ESF because it looks cinematic, it looks cool, there's traces everywhere, and sometimes even as a caster I will look at the air battles because they are quite epic, but it's what's happening on the ground which is technically important.
Yeah. Well, we got 1 minute left on the timer, so I'm going to have a look over here at the tech plant, and I am seeing this time around that does appear to be a lot more ESFs this time around, but oh my golly, some of them are already on half health. They're knocking each other around. So that is
TR again. TR as well, pulling quite a lot of mosquitoes. One Galaxy, good to go. Quite heavy on the mosquitoes this time around.
Restricted area.
20 seconds.
20 seconds. I think pretty much the entire WFAT team is in some sort of ESF.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Second round starts. Second round starts. Okay. Stop, guys. Restart. 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 Come back, guys.
As we have a false start there, a reset. Not sure what the problem was there.
me neither. I didn't see anything wrong with my guys too much, but I could have missed some.
I didn't see anything on the TR side.
Some early starter, so please.
Early start for TR. Naughty, naughty.
And then you can start. Don't stop before the countdown hits 0.
Good job by the ref there.
Good spot.
Second round starts in 1 minute. Second round starts in 1 minute.
So we're on the next tick, I believe.
Yep, does look like next tick.
I'm going to quickly zoom over to the NC just to see what they have. Just to show the viewers on the mainstream. Similar sort of setup, several Reavers and Galaxy.
Seconds.
Pretty much the same. Not really seeing many vehicles, same as TR. I think they're probably going to focus on Galaxy than ESF. Which seems to be like the stapling open move for LaneSmash.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start.
And we're off, hopefully on time. TR already having casualties. 2 mosquitoes already burning.
Whew. Must have bumped each other.
Leave the restricted area
We're seeing-
immediately.
Beacon on point. We're seeing a WFAT beacon on point and WFAT here at Ziggurat.
Several Reavers and mosquitoes bailing to get the point. Small service, both beacons are up. Mosquitoes farming the NC. TR on point.
Good job of keeping the Ziggurat defended there to make sure that point was contested to prevent NC from capping.
Mosquitoes failing to destroy the beacon. Infantry not destroying the beacon. NC now drop podding in.
Point was flipping here at Nelmeyer as well, but NC managed to get the defense going. So we'll head back to Ziggurat.
TR holding point.
Wow, this is... I didn't expect both to get the defense going really well at both sides. So currently we're not seeing any contest to the points on both sides.
TR Galaxy hovering over Nettlemire Gardens. Hopefully we'll see the Winchester Flower Raiding team plant their seed in this garden and capture this A point.
You're waiting for that pun, weren't you?
I mean, maybe they will praise Alan Titmarsh and maybe they will, you know, plant their seed and capture this point.
So it looks like NC are currently in the building here, hold up. Let's check to see how their spawn points are going. Doesn't seem like there's much spawns. I don't see any beacons in the tree either. Heading back to Ziggurat. Ziggurat, no contest whatsoever here. WFAT keeping a good presence here in the meantime, just to make sure it's not capped as well.
Not seeing any sort of TR Sunder yet.
No. I am seeing someone drop down from a tree. Does that mean... No, I'm not seeing it. There's the occasional trickle in from a WFAT member. You see random come in here, unfortunately being mowed down. Currently, WFAT keeping a good hold of this building I'm in, which is currently east of the point here at Nettelmeyer. Half squad of guys.
Spotted an enemy heavy.
Unfortunately, holding this building isn't going to be doing you much good currently. I see a Prowler on the outside. Prowler taking down any Sundays that the NC try to pull.
WFAT TR max push coming onto waypoint.
Let's capture this point. There we go. Officially flipped now into TR's favor.
Spotted an enemy heavy.
Hostile max identified.
So it does look like this forward squad here of about 6 people from WFAT are keeping a hold of this building to the east. So as we see NC start to trickle in, this building has always become a common point for them to congregate and build up before they hit the point. But the fact that they've got this half squad here is kind of messing with those plans and is causing a bit of chaos for them to try to get a big group together.
TR doing really well against the odds. Like, they've just wiped essentially an NC push. Just by diluting that push, just making it an extra wall for YLBT to go through before they even get to the point.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially,
Again, there's no air presence from NC as well, so we're having a low Mozzie that's kind of just slowly taking out anyone that trickles across the point. We're finally seeing a WFAT Sunday as well start to push, but unfortunately it has nearly flipped itself, but recovered.
two TR Sunderers coming in.
Oh, yep.
Hopefully we'll see the Flower Rangers set down roots in that garage and pollinate more manpower for this cap.
Oh, I don't know if I can stand these puns. That's a difficult one.
TR not going for the spawn solution, going for the force multiplier, bringing that Cobalt Bulldog bus up to A point, followed by another Cobalt Bulldog bus.
Is with you. Do not falter.
Has the bus got stuck?
Force now. Here's an interesting side. So we've got a bit of TR both on the 7th side here of Nettelmeyer, as well as they're kind of tackling any NC that come through this middle section that try to get into the tree. So as you were saying, they really have been rooted down here in their position.
WFAT managed to get one of the Thunderers onto point, bringing the second one in as a support.
And here we go. 2 Thunderers in point. What do we got? We've got a Bulldog and a Cobalt on one. Bulldog and Cobalt on the other as well. What a combination. This did block one of the doorways that allowed one of the Maxes to kind of show his presence here on the point, but he gets mowed down. That is excellent, though, having the Sundays here on point.
Failure is not the path.
It seems that NC managed to take that building and the balcony, but once they got rid of that team, they had to deal with now the Thunderers, and it's like WFAT just keep putting walls in front of YLBT, they keep placing walls.
Thunder is just mowing down NC, driving all over them. Oh no! Bulldog is taking out people. That Bulldog buff that happened not too long ago, oh boy. They're beacon up for NC, but unfortunately it's going to be a little too late. Let's go. I'm going to move backwards just to see how it's going over here at Mulek Foundry.
And WFAT get the cap. And they have pop on the next base.
Now, Mulek Foundry is currently empty on point, but we are hearing a lot of mozzies around. So what I'm expecting is a beacon to go down by the mozzie, and he does. Beacon is now down. Current mozzie gets back in and is already starting to take down infantry. And here come the drop pods here at Mulek Foundry. My guess is if it's going to be the same tactics as before, they're going to send a squad forward, because that's why I'm only seeing the one beacon so far, and they're going to keep the squad backwards, just so they can keep the defense strong.
YLBT, really quick on the redeploy there, but get intercepted by those mosquitoes, waiting for them to redeploy.
And here we see WFAT now on point, but it's only both forces meeting here at the same time, so they haven't really had enough to gather their momentum as well as gather their forces together, but here we see them starting to flank around to take down any forces to hit them from the front.
Mosquito dealing with reinforcements coming in. Not much cover between the spawn room and the A point. Asking to get bansheed and low-podded. NC need to have dedicated burster mech or some sort of anti-air capability, or just wait for that mosquito to crash, as that happened there.
Oh, poor mosquito. But yeah, very similar to what we saw back at agriculture as well, at Zots from the last round. The mozzie was able to just take down the forces slowly as they're heading over to the point. This is where at least get yourself a Sky Guard, burster maxes, get something to do with the air. Interesting fella here. He seems to be laying on the job. And
YLBT need to get TR off of this point, because no doubt TR are already getting Sunderers to this base. WFAT bringing that Sunder in from the spawn room side. Quite cheeky of them.
we have a Galaxy outside. Oh boy. WFAT Galaxy resting quite casually on the just outside the big doors here at Foundry.
NC pushing underneath it.
What a picturesque moment. Sunday's there as well. Cobalt starts to come out, and we see that being mowing down people as well. Galaxy goes down.
NC with another spawn solution. Will they catch this TR out in the open as they protect the Sunner going in?
That's wonderful, having them protect the Sunder as it goes in as well. That's smart. And do we have a harasser?
We have not seen any sort of like NC air support, which would have been perfect timing there.
It's the second game where I've seen minimal air support from YLBT. Last time we at least saw we did see a couple of Reavers and Valkyries from YLBT last time on their first round match, but I haven't seen anything really. If there has been anything, I think the Mozzies have easily been able to deal with it. They do have a beacon here, YLBT, on the outside, but it is on their eastern doorways, which is where WFAT are going to be expecting people to come from already. Now, one of the big things we saw at this base previously in some of the previous matches is that to deal with the Sunderers on point, especially when it comes to the spawn options, they've been able to get harassers in here to deal with these kind of things. Because this is a very open point, just like a Zots Agricultural as well. And you can get the Sunderers in, you can get the harassers in. Unfortunately, with WFAT's armor presence, definitely a difficult process to do that in its current stance, but it's definitely one of the tactics we've seen to use to get rid of the Sunderers, as well as cause chaos for the infantry on them start to focus the harasser down, allowing the infantry to focus them.
TR Mosquito hovering over the spawn room.
Oh. Yeah, NC are scattered. We have dead bodies all around the spawn room.
8 seconds on the cap.
Pulling in now. 5 seconds. Let's head over to Tech Plant. While you have an eye there, we see YLBT already have people here at the Tech Plant as well. Looks like YLBT have done the smart thing of removing any of the vehicles, and we've just saw the guy despawn. It looks like he's removed the 2 vehicle bays to allow spawnings there, which is smart. Definitely something you want to do here at the Tech Plant. But no one on point, so forward cap is not happening yet.
Enemy heavy spotted.
Tango mine. Enemy heavy spotted.
Tech is quiet. Sunderers are moving up now, though. And we're seeing that YLBT are using the spawn tubes. They're heading into the vehicle area to deal and counter with these Sundays that are already coming in. Heavies and C4 already going en masse. Unfortunately, the WFAT Sunderer is already down. It looks like YLBT was very well prepared, but unfortunately, the Maxes have now come out of said Sunderer and are now quickly dealing with that. 1 Max left, though.
2 max left again.
Dispatched. Oh, 2 matches. There we go. There's the other one. YLBT getting their Sunderer in now.
WFAT still holding balcony. Still in a position to cap.
And we're seeing the point flip here at Mulek Foundry. Currently, there it looks like NC have a single person on point, though he's already being tackled by WFAT. Oh, here we go. Gets the knife kill on WFAT. Another 2 people replace him, though. And unfortunately, he's taken down, and WFAT already getting the point back. This should now open up Tech Plant for sure. WFAT sending another 2 people, 2 Sundays over. We're seeing the points start to flip now here at the Tech Plant as well. WFAT here on point. Looks like only about half a squad. Not even that. They're retreating back to the balcony.
I believe NC might be coming through the tunnels.
Enemy heavy nearby. Spotted a hostile infiltrator.
Eyes on hostile light assault troopers.
TR Thunder is coming through the vehicle bay now, just in time to meet the NC tunnel push.
It's interesting to see they're not keeping too many WFAT members on point. They are trying to keep a hold of that balcony instead, but this is allowing NC to push at least onto the point and stay behind the walls to start contesting.
We are seeing a very unfortunate thing happening at the vehicle bay. Several members trying to get into a Sunder, trying to get to reverse to the shield. They managed to get in.
Ooh. Hate to hear it.
TR trying to get a Mosquito onto point.
Mozzie unfortunately doesn't make it. But would have been a beautiful sight. They still have options to. Vanguard underneath. As he kind of looks up. And ooh, look at how many Sunderers are in that vehicle bay now. That is going to be difficult to deal with, especially with 4 of them there. But they do, looks like YLBT do have a decent amount of presence, but no. They're getting the repairs easily. Only like 1 or 2 heavies now trying to tackle the Sunderers and unfortunately failing in the process.
Five minutes on the cap with 22 minutes left in the game.
22 minutes, oh boy. And because it's this is only a 1-point base as well, I think this is actually gonna go through if they keep this up. Look at the presence that they're keeping on the balcony. As soon as any YLBT pop out of the spawn tube, they're immediately popped by the maxes that are aimed here at point. WFAT are doing a very good job at limiting the spawn options here for YLBT.
YLBT pulling vanguards supposed to deal with those Sunderers, but getting harassed in turn by the mosquitoes.
Oh. They are trying to tackle the western side coming through the front, but only I've been seeing a big group of them. There we go. We got a couple of maybe about 3 or 4 YLBT coming through the western entrance now. Immediately being taken out by some of the infiltrators that WFAT have, leaving them only with 2 or 1 people. Yep, dispatched quickly. WFAT have a very nice balance so far between their composition. WFAT have a very nice spread now between the balcony. Oh, actually no, we got the balcony is actually left quite empty, and we're seeing some of the Sunderers go down now. Vanguard's coming in to the vehicle bay to deal with the Sunderers. Unfortunately, the Rep Sunderer is not able to handle how much damage is being put out to them. Even a Flash is here. Hello, Flash. Bye-bye, Flash. He's gone.
Compromised.
There we go. SCU is now vulnerable. Here we go. We found a YLBT's Invisible Sunday that they have over here between the SCU and the tech plant here, currently being guarded by a Vanguard. Though it does look like there is a bit of a Prowler presence around as well, as we see the Prowler start to head directly on to deal with their armor. So for the first time, we are seeing some presence for YLBT. Here we go, vehicle battle. Oh, we've got a harasser as well for YLBT, so we are starting to see it, but unfortunately that Mozzie, as along with the Prowler, was able to dispatch the Vanguard. At this point, they don't even need to tackle the SCU here for the tech plant. It would be very hard to get to that SCU as well, especially with how much presence that YLBT have between the point and the SCU. Definitely possible if they want to go out.
I don't think I've seen any sort of NC push this entire round, really.
It's very much been a trickle in. They've been trying to deal with the spawns that WFAT have through Vanguards through the back there.
We haven't seen YLBT do really well against Dump. It makes me wonder if this is the same team.
It is a bit of a difference, yeah.
But I do feel like WFAT is credit where credit is due. WFAT have done quite a good job at like sending out like people just to harass the NC. So these pools that I'm saying don't exist may be existing, but the TR infiltrators, light assaults, and vehicles and mosquitoes are probably dealing with that. So the people on point don't have to, and what's trickling through are the remnants of those pushes.
I'm currently watching the whack-a-mole here at the spawn tube in the vehicle bay, as occasionally the one or two YLBT. Oh, here we go. Big
Oh, here comes the push. Here comes the push. But they must have known what was waiting for them. They must have known there were Sunderers. But they managed to get one of the Sunderers down.
Yep.
2 remaining.
But unfortunately, a lot of them wiped out. Here comes the res grenades. All medics coming from behind. 1 or 2. 2 Sunderers left. 25 seconds left on the cap, though. I don't think this is going to be enough. Look at how much ground they have to cover. And half of them are dead. We're going to look at the other side, because I'm guessing they possibly have pushed the squad from the other side as well. 6 seconds. The point is clear. Oh, unfortunate.
And WFAT get the tap plan.
End of match.
Has taken the facility.
And that is it.
To WFAT, 5-0.
5-0 to WFAT.
What
can
a
the team
game.
members join waiting for the interview channel for the post-game interview?
So as we wait for the reps to move to the correct channel. So, Pac, that was a very different game to what I expected it to be.
Yeah.
But I think both teams did quite well in terms of like circumstance.
Look, there's definitely improvements that they could have done going into that second round. Unfortunately, they didn't get the false multipliers going up. They didn't learn from the mistakes that happened going into the round there for the second round, which is unfortunate for YLBT. So leaving WFAT to score 5 points out of this match as well. What do you think they could have done differently?
I just think that the NC Air presence could have been a little bit more, because there were times when they just needed extra support, because the YLBT were really good at like respawning, redeploying, defending the bases, but it's not great when you leave the spawn room and you're immediately getting bansheed. There was just no support from the air, just to tackle those mosquitoes, just to get them off their back so they could at least make a decent push. And I do feel like they just got so in their mind of, we have to get this point back, we have to destroy those Sunderers, and they just run out of spawn room and they'll get gunned down by banshees. And if I think they could do anything differently, it would be have a few ESFs just dedicated to dealing with that kind of stuff, because it was a problem and they didn't quite adapt to it. They didn't really have any sort of like dedicated anti-air presence. I mean, they could have we saw it there at the Foundry. They could have had, a max in the spawn room, because there was mosquitoes above the spawn room for a good 5 minutes. I mean, I think WFAT, what they had worked, and it's worked in previous games, and for the majority of their matches they always seem to have the same sort of similar composition. They use quite heavily on max and force multiplayers. So and
would it be interesting to see if they tried when it came to an air presence, and the mosquitoes were just able to wipe them out from something maybe that we couldn't see, because for a lot of the time it didn't feel like there was a full 2 squads there that YLBT were trying to push onto point. I didn't at one stage see a good presence from YLBT try to push 2 squads. Like I've always seen maybe a squad here and there try to push towards the point, or try to group up, but I never seen them fully try to group up, and it was always very much a bit more of a trickle, or they staggered in, and that gave them a lot of options in terms of wiping out as well. And it definitely didn't help from the air presence that WFAT had as well, because we saw throughout both rounds that they were managing to take down people heading to point towards the bases, and that was devastating. That was absolutely devastating.
if you could just move us down to the channel, I think they might be waiting for us. I'm not too sure.
Well, yeah, let's go down.
Channel switched.
The time.
User joined your channel.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hello. So I don't think we have the YLBT guy.
When I was watching the dump versus YLBT.
So we'll start with the questions, guys. If you ready?
Yeah,
go for it.
So WFAT, we saw quite good use of the max pairs. Something that we've seen quite routinely in your game so far. We saw quite a good use of force multipliers, sunderers, harassers with mosquito and combined arms. But is that going to be your staple now in terms of your force composition, or do you originally have like a different plan in mind?
We specifically tried to tailor our plan to YLBT. So whether it becomes a stable or not, who knows? But we have been practicing, and I'm very happy with how it turned out today.
That does make a bit of sense as well.
Yeah.
Especially because we didn't see you pull a massive amount of air to deal with their presence, but I think is it fair to say that you've seen that YLBT hasn't been able to pull too much of an air presence previously, so you didn't need to really focus too much on that to counter?
We saw in the dump match that they did pull air at the start, and they actually in the first half of that dump match they won the air. So we wanted to make sure that we won the air at the start. And based on that match, we weren't expecting them to mass pull air again.
Mm-hmm.
So it meant that winning the air ball at the start would sort of give us air dominance for the rest of the match.
That's fair.
We were expecting to be capturing these bases like that quick. Did that kind of like put like a wrench in your back capping plan, or was that more of a case of you were expecting to essentially roll that lane?
We weren't expecting to roll anything, and in fact, I had to cert out GSD for my Sunday at the end for the tech plan because I hadn't even considered fighting at the tech plan. We had no plan for the biolab either, so it's a harder cap than the tech plan, I think. But we weren't expecting the roll at all. We just played to the whistle, by the whistle.
Is there anything that you you struggle with as a team? Like, so what was YLBT doing? What really affected you the most?
They're quite an unconventional team in terms of tactics. So throwing light assaults with C4 is something that we are not normally used to fighting against, but we did foresee and practice with. So, that was something that we sort of spend a bit of extra time to make sure that we were going to be prepared for it. I suppose things that we would like to be better at is keeping the momentum up as we got. We were definitely better in this match than the practice matches, making sure that we're not having galaxies the wrong way up, for example.
Because you guys had plenty of practice on this lane, whether it be practice or internals. So, but yeah. I think. Like, in a good way for you guys, you didn't have the harasser problem as you had previously.
We didn't, yeah, and we have. We've been thinking about what we might do if the problem arises again.
So, just looking over the stats for the match, WFAT 1,424 kills as a team, compared to YLBT's 648. That's actually quite an impressive.
Check the second tab, Infant 2. You're looking at the first tab there.
Oh, that's even bigger numbers. So 2,000 kills compared to YLBT's 808. I mean, you guys had some really significant point holds, a really good job on the A point of the biolab. Do you feel that you're just going to turtle up in that point, or were you just too stretched to? Because we did see you push B and A, and sometimes send infiltrated light source to C point. But did you have any intention of trying to cap that base fully, or was there was a long period where you just camped A and did really well for holding it for a good 5 minutes?
Yeah, at the start it was a bit. We weren't sure if we were going to be able to hold A, and we did want to try and push out to other points. There was no real plan to turtle ever. But yeah, just being stretched out between the 2 points, YLBT was very good at clamping down on one or the other, and we really settled into holding the A point. I don't know if it's whether YLBT was starved the nanos or whatever, but we managed to keep our maxes up there for quite a while. And it was so stable, in fact, that I jumped into another channel to chat with Ratto. I was like, dude, what on earth are we going to do about this? Like, we're going to be here for 17 more minutes. There's no way we're going to be able to get the vial out at the moment. But we did keep trying, I suppose.
So Bob Squirrel wants us to call you guys the Winchesters.
As is.
If you watch the stream back, I did throw a few flower arranging puns into Nettle My Gardens, where you guys planted a few roots, essentially. And you did, yeah, horrendous puns. But do you feel like your team improved without Bob Squirrel? Because I think there was a definite improvement.
Well, I mean, I think that whilst the team has definitely benefited from his guidance in the past, perhaps the Winchesters are transcending the need. But we should not forget our roots, of course.
But an important question coming in through chat here is, so what is WFAT's, also the Winchester's, favourite flower?
You're going to ask me to pick? That's ridiculous.
Well, I don't know. I'd rather not pick my flowers, but...
I like to leave my flowers in the ground.
Cast, please. I can't stand much more. Oh.
I know. I'm a fan of a nice buddleia, and the rhododendrons in spring are fantastic. I don't know if Phil or Ratto have got any other.
Well, I'm a big fan of the foxglove. It's a beautiful flower.
So we don't have the other team here with us for whatever reason. So I'm just going to go on to the last question that we have. So WFAT, your next opponent is GETR.
Yes.
On May the 15th. So what is your prediction on that? Because that's on the same lane as this. So you've had another match on this lane, and I think this is probably the only lane that you've played, correct?
Yes. We wanted to get a lot of practice on this lane just because we knew we were playing in the first two of our matches. I'm not going to give a prediction. I've not actually seen any of the matches that GTR have been playing in, so I haven't got any knowledge of their proficiency, skill, flower choice, etc.
It's going to be a tough week then. A lot of research to go into the next match, or do you feel a bit more confident going in blind?
No, we'll definitely do
Never want to go into anything blind. Not falling for that one again.
No. Again, oh boy.
So we're going to call it there because I do believe we have another match starting pretty soon. So to both teams, thank you very much for coming. For the viewers, thank you for watching. I think the next match is Cobalt Terrans versus 93 OP, and that is in next half an hour, I believe.
Let's have a look.
14:30 I have on the timer.
Yeah, in 30 minutes, it looks like it will be starting. So, good chance that with the match ending early, that it'll be on this stream here even. But if not, head over to Planetside Battles 2, as I believe that was where it's planned.
So, for WFAT and for YLBT, thank you for coming. Unfortunately, we couldn't interview YLBT because I'm on TeamSpeak at the moment, which is probably more of a translation issue. But yeah, if there's any more questions, then we can call it here.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks, Dots. Thanks, BackTech.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Have a good one.
Cheers.
See you guys.
User left your channel. User disconnected from your channel.